Today I got to replace two wheel cylinders on the Beetle, and both rear wheel cylinders blew pretty much at the same time, and this is what we're looking at right here. And the only reason I can think they both blew at the same time is I've just put a new master cylinder in the Beetle, and all I can think of is the wheel cylinders are weak and old, and the new master cylinder was just too much for them. So I got to replace both of these on the back. So what I'm going to do is just get this broke loose, take the bolts off, get the car lifted up, take the drum off, and then you'll be able to see the underneath. Alright, so what I'm going to do is just get this broke loose before I lift the car up, so I can get this off after. Alright, there we go. That should be. Alright, so that's it. That's all I want to do. I got all the lugs just broke loose, so what I'm going to do now is actually lift the vehicle up off its wheels. So all I got to do now is make sure we're where we need to be. Alright, and up we go. We'll put the lock in place. Alright. Alright, so we got it sitting on the lock in there. Now we'll shut the air off and start working on it. And I'm only going to show one side because essentially it's the same on both sides of the car. I don't really care for these style that the lugs come out with it, not just the nuts, because then you got to try to hold the tire in place to put them back to line them up with the holes. You can't just take the tire and slide it up onto the studs and then put the nuts on. You got to line it up as you go. So it's kind of a pain, but that's how they made these. So. Okay. Go ahead and get that out of the way. And I already pulled the cotter pin out of here. I didn't show that part, but here's the cotter pin's broken, so I'm going to have to replace that. But that's so this nut doesn't back off. Whoops. You just want to wiggle it. And I don't have the emergency brake on because otherwise it would be grabbing. Although they're not grabbing very well right now because it's all covered with oil. But it off, and actually no, the bearings, I'm sorry, are inside there. This is the other one. So there's no bearings on this, it's just a spline. So we'll put this right here. Alright, so it's leaking up here, probably on this side too. And because the whole brake pads are covered as well. I did get some cleaner. Let's move some of the tools off this side here. Now I'll clean this up a little bit. Gonna have to anyways, because just kind of start at the top and work our way down a little bit. Alright, now we can at least see a little bit better. So on the back side of this is going to be two screws. I'll show you with the new one. One screw actually. There's only one screw. The other one's the bleeder. And then this middle one is the brake line. So basically you got to pop that one screw out, slide this in its place, and put the brake line back on, and hope all goes well. The two main issues, or a couple issues, one is getting that bolt off, but I think that won't be a problem. Getting the brake line broke loose from here without breaking anything can sometimes be an issue. So that's what we're going to do. Hopefully I had that in the camera view. I'm sorry if I didn't, but there's one bolt on the back side there, and then the brake line where the red plug is, and then the bleeder screw. So let's just set that aside over here. what I've done is, let me just take this off here so you can, well, let me finish taking this off. So basically, the brake line was really rusted in there. I'm not going to save it, but I want to take it with me down when I have to get another part, and I will go ahead and get new brake line for this side and the other side. It's just a short line. You can probably see it goes right into there. It comes right up across here and then right into the wheel cylinder. So we're going to replace that too. Now let me just finish taking that off, and I'll show you the rest of what I did. Oh, there we go. Alright, so this is what we're replacing. Wheel cylinder. And while it's apart, of course, I'm going to put a new brake line on, and this, like I said, sits down in there and comes in behind. This is the bolt that holds the whole thing together. You see it comes right through that hole from behind, right in there, and went right into here. Hopefully you can see that. So when that's all through there, you get your bolt that holds it in position, your brake line goes in there, and the bleeder for bleeding brakes is right up on top there. And that's all in like this. And of course, when you step on your brakes and the fluid goes in, pushes out on these two piston kind of things here, and pushes on your shoes out against your wheel drum. So that's where we're at so far. I'm going to stop right here because I got to get downtown to get another part for my truck. And while I'm down there, I will get a new brake line. So really don't take any of this off. You just got to get these things turned so they're going to fit into those like that. So I'll go ahead and get those roughly in position here. I hope I can hold this light like this. So it's going to go in. I may not be able to get this in here. Let's see. Yeah, it's the same distance, but I had to, came out kind of, I was trying to do it without taking all the brake pads apart, so I might be able to get it to go in there. All right, there we go. And the brakes will end up recentering themselves before they're done. So there, that's in there. Now, they don't give you a new bolt, of course. You do get a new bleeder, you saw that on there, but they don't give you a new bolt to bolt it in, so you gotta save your bolt. So we're gonna go ahead and let's see if I can tip my head back there and see if you can see what I'm talking about. Hopefully you can. It's gonna go right there. Hopefully you can see. With the light here. What's in there? I think it's this wrench. Alright. Go ahead and snug that up. Okay, so I bought a new line, and I bent it as close as I could to what was here, but of course they're never exactly the same length. So you got to make some modifications, but as you can see, it's coming out of here, going down. I got it going up over here, and it's making its way down to that fitting there. And I'll make, once it's all in there, I'll make some minor adjustments to make sure it's not touching anywhere, which right now it's not, but I just want to make sure it's not going to rub on anything. And then we'll get this thing screwed back together. First, this one hasn't started in there. We got that to start. Don't want to force it with a wrench right off the bat. There we go. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing there. Not going to go any tighter than that. Alright, that's just pissing me off because I'm really kind of stuck until I find that freaking wrench. And I can't believe I can't find the spare one. Well, essentially it is done. I just got to tighten that up, which I can do with the drum on it. And then I got to bleed the lines, but of course before I bleed the lines I got to do the other side. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put the drum back on this because I'm going to have to break the other one loose, and I can't do it unless the wheel is on. little bit of light cleaner on this too. And that'll evaporate, so we won't worry about that. Alright. So this is not supposed to be loose like that. See that little slop in that right there? That's because the splines have gone bad. And I know I've got to replace the shaft that goes right back to the transmission. So I know that's got to be fixed, but I'm not going to worry about that today because that's a much bigger job. So we got the new wheel cylinder in, we got the new brake line on up to this point, all back together. We're now just going to put the drum back on. We cleaned up all the excess oil. I made sure the brake is not, the line is not hitting any metal all the way through there so it doesn't rub and vibrate and create a leak. We'll put this on here, and can't really tighten it because you got to put it down on the ground. But I'll at least get it so it ain't going to come off. So that's that. Now it's just a matter of I got to break the other one loose on the other side and change that wheel drum out. Wheel cylinder out, and basically repeat the same process. And when I'm done, I'll bleed the lines and hopefully have brakes again. So that's really about all there is to changing a wheel cylinder on, in this case, a 77 Volkswagen Beetle. All the Beetles are pretty much the same, very standard, and even new vehicles, it's relatively the same setup, but you may have to take parts off to do it. This is a very small brake because it's a very lightweight vehicle, but you know, the wheel cylinders are pretty much the same. Sometimes they're on the side that push this way, mostly they're on the top. Then of course you have disc, which is a totally different topic. But anyway, thanks for swinging by Shane's Main Shop. Hopefully this helps you out a little bit. And don't forget to click on video up here or up on this corner to watch something that might be similar or something you might be interested in. And then, of course, down in the corner, click on the channel icon to subscribe to my channel. Thanks again for swinging by Shane's Main Shop. Please like, comment, and come back often for more videos. And, of course, have a great day.